Have you ever noticed how some people reach a certain level of success but just can't seem to break through to that next level, despite the fact that they're working really hard and doing all of the right things? I used to be like this too, until I discovered a simple shift that allowed me to travel the world with my soulmate, generate millions of dollars in my online business, and much more. In this video, I'm going to show you how to scientifically raise your frequency so you can get all the things you want in life. First off, what do I mean by frequency and why is it important? Your frequency is the energetic state you're operating from at any given moment. It's a combination of your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. Just like a radio station, you're always broadcasting a signal, and the universe responds by sending you experiences that match that signal. When you're vibrating at a high frequency with emotions like joy, confidence, and gratitude, you attract opportunities and success. But when you're stuck in a low frequency state like fear, doubt, or frustration, you'll keep attracting more of the same. Simply put, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Let me repeat, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. If your frequency is frustration, self-doubt, and fear, you'll keep attracting situations that reinforce those feelings. But when you shift your internal state to the good things you want, like confidence, joy, and abundance, you'll naturally draw those experiences into your life. So let me show you how you can start shifting your frequency today. It starts with your physiology, your body. Your physiology is the foundation of your frequency. So building a high vibration, it really starts with your body. And here's the most important thing. If you want to stay in a high frequency state, you need to stop doing things that put you in a bad frequency. Think of it as your Ferrari. You are a machine engineered for precision and high performance. You are a child of God. Imagine that you're this Ferrari. What kind of gas would you want to put in that Ferrari? You want to put in the highest quality gas you possibly could, correct? But oftentimes people are fueling their bodies with the metaphorical equivalent of sand. What happens if you put sand in a Ferrari to fuel it? Nothing good. You're going to be stuck in neutral forever and it's going to malfunction. Sound physiology starts with three things: proper diet, proper sleep, and regular movement. An easy way to get started with a proper diet is start by doing what Dave Asprey recommends, which is eliminating kryptonite foods. There are certain bad things that some of us eat, things like processed sugar, grains, and much more, processed foods. And simply by eliminating these types of foods, these are going to give you a vibrational upgrade. So think for a minute about what's a food that you can eliminate from your diet that's going to give you that upgrade. The biggest thing when it comes to sleep is that most people don't stay in bed long enough. This is because of what's known as sleep efficiency. The idea here is that we're actually not sleeping for all of the amount of time that we're in bed. So if you want to sleep for a solid 8 hours, you typically need to be in bed for about 9 hours. And the big thing here is that high performers prioritize sleep. Some people think that they're actually performing better by sleeping less, but that's actually not the case. So the first step to becoming a champion sleeper is really to start prioritizing it. Start prioritizing that time in bed, and that is going to make a huge difference. And when it comes to movement, that includes structured exercises, like actually going to the gym or going for a run and things like that. It also includes looking for opportunities to move throughout the day. The author John Ratty, he's a doctor, a PhD dude from Harvard. He basically says that exercising is like taking a little bit of Ritalin and a little bit of Prozac because of the way it releases dopamine and because of the way it can actually have this positive impact on your brain. So again, the main thing when it comes to getting movement in is, again, we want to start prioritizing it and realizing that when we're moving on a regular basis, a good rule of thumb is you want to be exercising for at least 26 continuous minutes per day. If you start with that, you're going to find your vibration increasing more and more and more. So here's the thing. If all you did was improve your nutrition, start sleeping more, and started getting that movement in, this itself is going to have a compound effect on your vibration, on your frequency. But we're just getting started. We just talked about a few of my favorite physiological vitamins for raising your frequency. Now I want to show you a couple of my favorite mind vitamins for raising your frequency. The first mind vitamin I want to talk about is the power of unplugging. Unplugging simply means being mindful of the distractions and digital inputs you consume. The biggest culprits for this definitely are things like social media, mindless scrolling, obsessively checking email, and things like that. According to Data Report's Digital 2024 report, the average internet user actually spends over 2 hours per day scrolling on social media. That's over 10 hours a week. That's over 40 hours per month. From a pure productivity standpoint, this is a really, really bad idea. It's a loser's game. But I would argue that the negative impact it has on your frequency is even more damaging. Your consciousness is your most valuable resource. And you kind of want to think of it as like, at the beginning of the day, it's like this pure white bed sheet. And every tweet, news headline, mindless scroll will actually stain that bed sheet, almost like junk food. This digital junk food takes a toll on you. That's why being productive is really about protecting your consciousness, protecting your attention, and protecting your frequency. There's a lot of ways we can go about doing this, but my favorite technique I can give for you when it comes to really optimizing your frequency by unplugging, it's what I call digital intermittent fasting. You're most likely familiar with the idea of intermittent fasting when it comes to digesting food. A really common protocol for this is the 16-8 protocol, which really means that you have a 16-hour fasting window and you typically skip breakfast. So I would say do this exact same thing for things like email, social media, and online news. So what that means is don't consume any social media or check email before noon, and don't check it after about 6-7 p.m. If you do this, this gives you this long 18-hour window per day where you're not consuming inputs, and then you can actually spend that 6 hours of time actually doing it. And this is one of those things where if you've never done this before, you're just going to be surprised about how much clearer you feel, how much stronger of a vibration you're going to feel. And as a very, very many added bonuses, but one of them is that you're going to be more productive because you're not going to be spending that 10 hours a day on social media or per week on social media that a lot of people do. And you're just going to get a lot of great ideas. A lot of great inputs are going to come when you're disconnected. My other favorite mind vitamin I want to share with you is the power of meditation. There have been over 10,000 studies showing the benefits of meditation, including lower levels of stress, enhanced mood, enhanced mental clarity, and much more. In other words, meditating is like a workout for your frequency and a way to expand it. There's this really famous Zen Buddhism quote, which is that you should sit in meditation for 20 minutes a day. Unless you're too busy, then you should sit for an hour. Most likely you've meditated before and you may already have a meditation practice in place. If you meditated before and you've fallen off the habit, then use this video as an encouragement to get back on it. If you've never meditated before and you want to get into the practice, my recommendation is to start small. There's so many resources out there. There's apps, there's visualizations on YouTube, guided meditations, and much, much more. But the way you're going to get better is by anything, which is practice. So if you haven't meditated in a while or never, start with just 1 minute, and then you can build from there. You might just want to start with 1 minute earlier in the day, then a minute before you go to bed. And then you can kind of move on from there. The key thing is to develop that habit, and then eventually you can be meditating for an hour a day or more, like I do sometimes. In this video, I showed you how to scientifically raise your frequency by mastering your physiology, unplugging, and meditating. This may sound like a lot, and I'll be honest, it is. In the next video, I'm going to show you how you can raise your frequency to exponential levels actually by doing less, by doing practically nothing. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I'd love to know what you thought about this video, so please let me know in the comments below. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe, smash that bell for alerts. Till next time, this is Reich, keeping awesome.